What's up, Patrick?
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the Delvin Cox Experience, the podcast in which each week I am on a one-man mission to unite our culture through diversity. I'm your host, Delvin Cox, and with me on the podcast this week is two special guests. Let them know who you are, brothers.
Patrick Foreman here.
Brian Hawkins, what's up? What's up?
Brian's been on the show before, so everybody should know who Brian is by now. If you don't, what are you doing with yourself right now? Like, go listen to the episode Brian's been on. How you guys doing, brother?
Oh man, doing well.
Let them know about what you working with, man. Y'all working on a special project. That's what y'all talk about a little bit. We're gonna get that in a minute, but let them know what the name of the comic book y'all working on is.
Black Cotton.
Black Cotton.
Yeah, we definitely gonna get into that. Some Black Cotton today. But before we do that, as always, we start the podcast off with the 5 for 5. 5 questions, 5 answers to get the ball rolling. Guys, Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
We ready.
All right. Question number 1. Give me your top 5 white soul singers.
Ooh,
white
Mariah
soul
Carey
singers?
is one of mine.
That counts.
Celine Dion.
Okay, that's 1-1.
Ooh.
Hi, Patrick.
What about JoJo? Do y'all remember her?
I remember JoJo.
I think I do remember JoJo.
Yeah, I remember JoJo. All right, look, I cannot think of her name, but I'm gonna say, I don't know what her real name is. Dang it. The girl who played Jade on Victorious, but also Fallon Carrington in Dynasty.
Okay.
He got some pipes.
Okay.
Now I gotta go back to, he said soul, so how about Tina Marie?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned it. I thought somebody was gonna mention her at least one time. All right.
Was that 5? That was 5,
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
it?
5.
It's 5 together, right?
Y'all can do some more.
No,
5. Let's do 5.
No, we're good. 5 together. 5 together.
Yeah. We a
y'all have omitted someone, and I'm looking at y'all like, hold up.
Who?
Bill Cosby.
No. Wait.
Adele. That's a great one.
That's 6.
Oh.
That's 6.
Ooh. Let me see. I'm trying to think. Soul, and she sing. Oh no, I'm drawing a blank. Yeah.
Got 6 in there though. 6 together.
Barbara Streisand. Gotta say the queen.
Streisand works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 7.
There you
That's
go.
7. Let me think. Let's try to get an even number.
Okay.
White soul sister.
Singers. Now, don't be sisters. Singers.
Right? Yeah. White soul sisters, singers. Oh man.
What's her name? Christy Aguilera.
There you go.
That's a good one. Christina Aguilera.
Okay, so
Very
that's 8.
soulful.
Wait. So what about? Well, I mean, she doesn't really sing, so I mean, she could. I mean, nah, but she's not soul. I was gonna say Lady Gaga. She could sing soul, but she doesn't. I think her voice could. I think her voice could carry.
I'm gonna help you out with one. Amy Winehouse.
Oh yeah.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. She could have went so far, man.
Yeah.
If she could have just, stayed off that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
That's rough.
Question number 2 for you guys.
All right.
Give me your favorite Black comic character.
Oh.
I got mine.
Okay.
Oh, Black Panther all day. He said
I like
comic,
that answer, by
right?
the way. Yeah, comic books. Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna say Black Panther.
There's some good ones out there.
Oh yeah.
I want to say I want to give a shout out to Luke Cage, but he's not my favorite.
Luke Cage is good.
Favorite. He is not my favorite. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank for his name, but the main character, the main character in Excellence. I'm drawing.
I can't.
Yeah.
Wait a second. We are going to say this.
Yes.
No way. But he is definitely.
I got you.
Now I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
I can't believe I can't think of his name right now.
What?
I can't believe it.
Spencer
I can't
Dallas.
believe it.
Dale.
Spencer now. Yes.
Yeah.
Spencer
There
Dallas.
you go.
Spencer. Oh my goodness. I was just watching All American with Spencer too. I don't know why can I think of Spencer. Yes. He is, that book is my favorite book right now. That book is incredible. Excellence is it for me.
I'll tell you another character that I grew up on that a lot of people probably didn't even know was black, Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned him before, Patrick. Yeah.
Shadowhawk is very dope.
Yeah. I hate the way they killed him, but
There's a few of them that come to mind. I think Icon. I love
yeah.
Icon. Icon.
Yeah.
I mean, Spawn has to be an icon.
Yes, Spawn.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question number 3. If you guys can have a conversation with any person you want to, celebrity, not celebrity, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, we talk about this all the time. I'll let you go first, Brian, because you already know who I'm gonna say.
All right. If I could have a conversation with anyone, living or dead,
Yes.
right? And you know what? It's going to sound cliche, but I'm going to say Tupac. I'm definitely going to say Tupac.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to have a conversation with him. Like, not wearing, like, no cameras, just me and him, just actually having a conversation.
I would love to have seen his evolution, just how he would be today after, just growing. Man, that was, I think that was a huge loss for us.
Big time. Yeah,
But,
I agree.
Yeah. But Tyler Perry, that's mine. Me, Brian, he already know it's 3 people that when Black Cotton come out and start doing this thing, it's 3 people I want to talk to. I just want to sit at the table with them. And that's Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent.
I like that.
Kevin Hart, and Tyler Perry. All 3 of them at the table.
Needless to say, Patrick has some plans. Patrick has plans.
I see.
Yeah. He has plans, man.
I
respect it too.
Question number 4. What superhero you think defines America?
Ooh.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Ooh. What superhero
defines America? Wow.
Like when you think of this hero, you think of America, like the apple pie, or the ideal of America, not necessarily America today.
The ideal. Okay, yeah.
The ideal. Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, because America today would probably be like a supervillain. Dr. Doom, probably.
I tell you, mine would be Wolverine, to be honest. The old.
Oh, wow.
The old Wolverine, not the Wolverine with the old costume, meaning in the yellow, that mid-range, the 90s when he was going against Sabretooth and everybody, simply because he chalked his own way, to be honest. He thought the way he should. And if he thought it was right, or if he thought it was right, then that's how he went. And he went 100% in that direction. And that's how America should be, to be honest. Don't be afraid.
I like that.
Respect it. I'm gonna be cliche, and I'm definitely gonna say Superman.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Captain America.
Nah. Like when I think of the ideals, and like I was reading Deceased the other night, and I was looking at like what Superman does in that, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who have not read it, but it's that idea of even fighting against insurmountable odds, even though you are the most powerful person being in the world, or at least on Earth. You know, you're fighting against something that can be larger than you, and he's in the willingness to persevere. Like, he doesn't really depend on his strength. He has it, he uses it, but he's not like arrogant about it. You know, there's a humility there. There's a willingness to do what is right, and to even sacrifice himself in order to make sure that what is right is actually done. And I think the ideals of America fit that very well. You know, that's what we're supposed to do. So yeah, I'm gonna say Superman.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. All right. Question number 5.
All right.
Give me your ideal superhero team. You get to pick five characters to be your ideal superhero team.
Ooh. Ooh.
Now, is this combined?
Yeah, let's do combined. Any comic universe you want to use, by the way.
Okay.
Right.
Any comic book characters you want to use, just make your own superhero team.
Are we combining, or is it 5 apiece? Or are we combining?
No, we combining. Me and you.
Okay. First pick
I gotta
on
have
me.
Black Panther in there.
Okay.
Black Panther? Okay. I'm going Batman.
Okay, that's 2.
Okay. I gotta say, let me see here. We got Batman, and we got Black Panther. I need Carnage.
Oh
wow.
Somebody will die.
You want Carnage? Batman. Wait. We got Batman, Black Panther, and Carnage. All right. Well, look. I'm gonna go Wonder Woman.
Okay.
I'm going with classics. Yeah. I gotta go Wonder Woman.
So you got one more.
All right. Okay, one more.
No, make it 2 more to make it even. So you guys both have 3 each. Yeah.
Hey, what is the Watchmen's girl name? Regina King.
Oh wow.
I can't remember her name. I know. Damn it! I just bought the Blu-ray of it the other day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I gotta have her.
Wow. It's something midnight, isn't it? My goodness, I look
like that.
Lady Night or something like that, right? Oh man, we are good. Right.
I think it is something like that.
Yeah.
But you put her on a team, dude? Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so we got Black Panther, Batman.
Yeah.
Carnage.
Wonder Woman, Carnage.
Yeah.
And I think it's late. It's
You put Wonder Woman on there.
Yeah. Oh, what is her name on that joint? Wait a second.
Yeah, I gotta look this
up. Sister Night.
Sister Night. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I see a Lady Night. Man, we're drawing blanks on some names, man. We getting old, bro.
All right. You got one more, Brian.
No, that's 5, isn't it?
No, we said 6.
Yeah, we said.
It's 6.
Make it even.
Make it even.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going with all classics. I'm going with Superman.
Okay, good.
Superman,
I was
Wonder
open.
Woman,
Okay.
Batman. Those are my 3.
So the Trinity and Carnage, Black Panther, and Sister Midnight.
Yeah.
Hey. That
I
is
went
a
all
hell of a
DC.
squad.
Yeah.
That is. It'll be very interesting to see how Carnage will work with those guys. But
it's gonna be real interesting to see how Batman and Black Panther will work together.
Yeah.
What are you doing, T'Challa?
Well, Carnage is the X factor on there.
Like, who is gonna take orders from who? Like, Black Panther's not gonna listen to Batman.
Nah. And Batman is going to try to take charge of the team. You know you're going to do that.
Carnage is going to be like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Independent.
Man.
I like that team. So
that's interesting right there.
So for those who don't know, tell them a little bit about yourselves, both of you guys, because you guys work on an interesting comic that I think we need to talk about.
Okay. Hey, I guess I'll go first, Brian, since your list is way longer than mine.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
But me, to be honest, something a lot of people probably, wouldn't even believe or think about, but I'm an award-winning gospel artist. I won Independent Music Award for my gospel song, He's Able, this year, 2020. And I also released another single, I Feel Him, this year on my birthday. So that's one thing about me. Another thing people don't know, I'm also COO of Returning Citizen magazine, which is a reentry magazine for individuals who are incarcerated. And 1.2 million incarcerated individuals see my magazine with me and Todd DeBose every day. And that's a monthly magazine that goes out into the jail and help them successfully transition from incarceration back into society. And then I'm a retired Marine, 25 years. So I'm a veteran. And now, under my belt, I got, I'm a comic book creator with my best man, Brian Hawkins.
Talk about somebody burying the lead. Yeah, I'm a Marine. I'm also an award-winning gospel singer.
Right.
And in my spare time, I help convicts allocate themselves to regular life again. Nothing mentioned.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to come behind that.
But maybe you should have went second.
I think I should have. He set me up, man. He set me up. I'm about to say, I write comics.
Like, I'm an award-winning gospel singer.
I mean, how do you follow that? True stuff. Oh man, good stuff. Hey, let's just skip over me, man. Hi, I'm Brian.
Brian writes a lot of great comics.
Thank you. That's all. I'm totally good with that.
I don't even know how we can go on there.
Let's just talk about Black Cotton. Come on.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do right now. Tell us a little bit about Black Cotton for those who don't know.
Oh man.
Go ahead, bro.
You and me, Patrick. All right.
You.
All right. So Black Cotton is set in an alternate reality where the social order of white and black is reversed. And it hinges on an elitist family named the Cottons, a black family who are part of the 1%. That their oldest son has veered off and become a police officer, and he unfortunately shoots a minority white woman. And so from there, the story begins to unfold, and social tension begins to heighten, and we find out what happens to the family, but also the fragile social climate of the world.
This is a fascinating story to write, to say the least, especially in this climate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how did you guys come up with this concept? Because it's a fascinating concept, by the way.
Hey, you want me to tell it, Brian?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, me and Brian, we both have a mutual friend named Luke Wright. Goes by Luke Motivates, got a book out, The Right Thought. Phenomenal book. So
gotta have him on here eventually.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah. I'm telling you, he's a treat. So me and Luke, we actually speak inside of prisons. So we had went to Baltimore. We went to Baltimore and spoke in a prison, came back out, and we were fired up. So we started actually interviewing people and just in a passing talking. I was like, yo, I got this idea and I don't know, what to do with it. It's a comic book, and in my mind, it was a comic book. He was like, yo, I know a perfect guy, good friend of mine. So me and Luke, and we had did an interview. We went to basically lunch on Sunday, he reached out to Brian. He was like, Brian's gonna meet us there. So Brian came, and while we were at the table, I was like, yo, I got this idea. So I threw it on the table, and while we were talking, I said, hey, even the kindness Black. And Brian was like, yo, that's a hot name, Black Kind. And we just started throwing concepts out from that day. Now, this was in January of this year. We went from lunch to my house, continued throwing concepts out and everything. And before we knew it, we were deep into, what we have now, Black Kind, the whole concept. And here we are. What is it? It's December, so 11 months later, killing it.
Yeah, because I'm hearing this concept, and the first thing I'm thinking is, you guys sat in the room say, you want to make some white people mad? Let's make a comic book where we make them the minority and have to put up with some of the stuff we put up with. This is an amazing concept.
Here's what I'll tell you something. That's ingrained in it too. Is empathy. When we were talking and having conversations, something that we said is we look at a lot of movies, and the goal of the movie is to try to develop empathy into other individuals. But the problem is, if you constantly see yourself in a power position, then it's hard for you to walk in that person's shoes.
Yes.
So what Black Kind does is it gives a safe environment where we can flip all types of things. We flip not just the social order, we flip even women and men, the positions that they're in a lot of times. We flip stereotypes, but we give it a safe environment where people can walk in other people's shoes and then have a true conversation about it afterwards.
I think that's a dope concept, especially for a comic book. It shows how far comics have gone in terms of, like, back in the day, I remember when you wanted to hear that kind of social commentary, you had to kind of go to Marvel for that, because DC was kind of telling these intergalactic stories of, like, these gods living on Earth and things like that, where Marvel was telling the stories like X-Men. That's
right.
Kind of based off the civil rights movement, and Spider-Man, this kind of kid who's trying to struggle to make it. And I think it's super dope that we're still carrying on that tradition of telling really great stories in comic books.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Man,
Dope.
The one thing that you just said is so powerful simply because it is a great story. Black Kind is a great story.
And a great name, by the way.
Right. In the end of it, I had a review, done, and the person was like, where's the rest of it? I was like, yo, that's the first issue. They was like, where's the rest? I was like, you gotta wait, because it's that great.
Yeah, I like when books keep you wanting more. And I like the fact that you're telling a grounded story, even though it's kind of an alternate reality of what we live in today. It's still a grounded story, and it's something you can relate to. And I think if any time was the perfect time to tell this story, it's now.
I agree.
Now is the perfect time to tell this story, to get creative with it, to let people not only see the other side of things, but to experience it, to comment on it, to critique it, to kind of like, I think one of the most interesting things about at least this comic book is the fact that if you're a white person reading this comic and you see some of the darker moments, it makes you mad because you're sick of happening to your people. But you also have to have some sympathy and empathy, like, damn, that's kind of how Black people feel when they see that happen.
Yeah. It's a and Patrick hit on it. It's a we are hoping that it is a conversation starter. Like, one of the thoughts that I had, when we were developing it and as we're writing it, I'm reminded of what Malcolm X said, where he talked about having a conversation. Like let's sit down and face each other and be honest with each other. And as Patrick was saying, Black Cotton is a safe environment. It's look at one another. We're in this world. We're in America. We have this history. How do we really begin to see each other? And I think, one great aspect of Black Cotton is it allows you to see the other person, to see the other race, to see the other culture, to see the other perception, and kind of make that perception your own. To walk in their shoes, and by doing that, if you have a healthy mind, it makes you question, it makes you wonder, and I think that's the beginning of self-discovery for that individual, and I think Black Cotton has the potential to do that. I'm hoping that it will do that. It's not an attack or an indictment on any group of people. It's a way to bridge a gap, hopefully.
Let me ask you this, Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like? Because Brian is already in the comic book world. What is it like dipping your toes in this comic book world and experiencing everything that comes with it?
It's awesome. It really is awesome. And Brian would tell you this. It's funny because I've collected comic books my whole life. I'm a collector. So Brian that's why we're such a great team. Because Brian, like you said, he is a true comic artist, comic writer, creator. He has been in this business for years. And here I am. I'm the person who grew up buying 2 comic books, one to read and one to put away. And now I look for CGC, 9.8 graded, remark. I'm looking for these, unique things. And it's so great to actually be on the other side now, to, take all of these years of actually reading somebody else's stuff and putting a product together that not only is enjoyable, something that people will want and will collect, but also something that in the end grows individuals and also societies together. So it's phenomenal. I mean, all the different people, we got a phenomenal Black Cotton team. I mean, from all over the world. That's the beauty about it. It's not just here. Me and Brian are in Virginia, but we got an artist in Brazil. We got where's Marco at, Brian?
He's in Italy.
Yeah, Italy.
Italy, yeah.
I mean, we got our whole team is worldwide. That is the beauty, and that's what makes Black Cotton so such a dynamic team. Simply because we're bringing input, we're bringing world input, and that's what's making Black Cotton it's going to take the world by storm. Even the phrase Black Cotton is going to take the world by storm because it's a deeper meaning to even Black Cotton.
Yeah, I like that. Let me ask you guys this, because one of the things I've noticed about these past few years is the rise of the kind of independent, smaller run comic book that's not necessarily Marvel or DC or even Image for that matter, but the smaller companies like Mad Cave and stuff like that. I think it's dope seeing that happen now. And I like the fact that I can now go on a Kickstarter and see something like a Black Cotton, not necessarily Black Cotton itself, but books like that being made, or books being made by African-American artists and writers and creators. And I can go get that. Whereas 20 years ago, you couldn't find that. A lot of the times, like Luke Cage wasn't written by a Black guy.
Right.
And now we have these stories being told by our voices. And I think that's awesome. And what do you see? How do you see this foregoing in terms of the future? Because right now it's awesome seeing this.
I'll let you take that, Brian.
Yeah, like the indie comic book scene is wonderful. It is, in my opinion, the product of years of building and building and building and building and being kind of under the surface, scratching at things, working. And of course, when Image jumped on the scene and what, those creators who were part of the big two said, we want to do our own thing, and they were the biggest representative of that. But that had been happening before, where you had always had self publishers who were out there, scraping and scrounging. But when they did that, it was like a like a bat signal almost. And it brought more people into that mindset. And so here we are, when in 2020, with Kickstarter, which really was a great platform that really provided a way for different artists, writers, letterers, however, to really like hone in and develop their craft and find an audience. The comic book world is expanding. It's expanding. It's becoming more indie. Even those who are still doing phenomenal work with Marvel and DC, they're branching out and still, doing some self-publishing, some connecting with the Image, connecting with the Boom, a Vault, a Scout. Like everyone is trying to tell stories, and that's what it's become about. Not just superhero stories, but all kinds of stories, and even the superhero stories are beginning to, touch home more, to bring in a little bit more realism, the human condition. And that's the key right there. The indie comic book scene has exploded because the stories really hit home on the human condition and how we're able to tell that kind of story. And I don't see it ever going back to the way it was, 60s, 70s, 80s, even in the 90s. We're in a, dare I say, a golden era of storytelling in general, even to the point of what's on Netflix and Hulu. Like storytelling is prime right now. It's awesome. And it's coming from so many different angles. And it's only going to grow. It's only going to grow, and more voices, more diversity, and there's some resistance obviously out there for that, but it can't be stopped because this is the inevitable Thanos evolution of what is supposed to happen as a world, us unifying, but also specifically in the comic book industry. It's us unifying. It's us diversifying, and those two things go hand in hand.
Yeah, and if I can add just a little bit on the back end of that, I think it's something that you will constantly see. Basically, anytime there is a status quo, meaning you had DC, you had Marvel, you had them doing the same plan, and there was no deviation. So if you were part of it, then you had to follow along with this roadmap that they had laid out. So anytime you have that, what will happen is something is going to come along to fill that void. A vehicle is going to be created for all of those who don't want to ride in those two lanes. And that's what's happened when you see the Kickstarter, when you see the indies, popping up. The vehicle is formed, and what you have is you will see the change, and with individuals going to that vehicle, a chain reaction happens. It causes the majors to change, the DC, the Marvel. Look at even what is it now, the DZ zone, the when how they've changed their whole virtual reality and everything. So they're even branching out and trying to bring in, okay, how can we tap into this indie world and bring our people back. Well, I mean, the only way you can is you have to change. Either you evolve or you're going to become extinct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Image just launched a Kickstarter. I just saw it, and I haven't backed yet, but I'm definitely going to. And I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Afua Richardson, right? Like she just launched a Kickstarter through Image for her book.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's up to like 40,000, I think. Like,
Yeah.
and it just launched yesterday, I think.
Let me ask you this, because I want to bring up this topic because I think this is an interesting way to take this conversation. How do you think these past 4 years have influenced comics in terms of the climate? Because as of right now, I think comics are more diverse than they ever been. Like, past few years, one of the top selling comics we've had has been Black Panther. It's been selling like hotcakes. I don't think that's a coincidence that the climate we live in today is helping that a little bit happen. People are asking for more diversity. America is becoming more diverse, even with everything that's going on. America is becoming more diverse, and they're looking for more diversity in its comic books and in its movies and its TV shows. In terms of like how one of the most popular movies of this past generation was Black Panther, and as well as Into the Spider-Verse, both featuring minority main characters. And I think the climate is kind of changing because people are kind of getting tired of the same stereotypical white superhero, white characters. And I think these past 4 years played a part of that.
Here's what I'll say, and then I'll let Brian, go ahead and give his answer too. I think that what America is realizing is that the image that they have been fed or have been used to has dramatically changed. Meaning, if you even look at the commercials on TV now, you see more couples that are interracial.
Yes.
So they understand, and look at the backlash that happens anytime there's remember the Cheerios commercial and the kid, and the black dad was sleeping on the couch and she put Cheerios, and they tried to come out and go against it. And all of a sudden, America just rose up against all of those people. So what you're seeing is that America is really, if you look at it, diverse. You are becoming the minority. That old image of just, hey, guess what? We stick to ours, you stick to yours, and all of that mentality, it's not going to work in the society that we're living in now. So therefore, you need to match what the people want to see and what they see day to day, which is they see diversity. They see, minorities in power positions. So why is it that when I go to the movies, like I was watching a movie today, and it still had that same stereotype? It was a garbage movie. I ain't even finished watching it. It was Hard Kill with Bruce Willis. I don't even know why he was in it. I wouldn't have been in it. But it had one black person in it, and guess what?
Died 10 minutes in the movie.
Oh, he died. As soon as he got shot, I said, really? The only black guy, and you had to shoot him? So it's like, come on, we're tired of seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's spot on, and I'm kind of reminded of the 13th, right? And there's a part in it where they talk about how Birth of a Nation, right? How that, that's entertainment, but how it became propaganda. Like, it was entertainment, but there was a blend of propaganda, and how even the crosses that they burned, like the Ku Klux Klan didn't do that until after the movie. And so, like, what really struck me with that was like the power and the influence of entertainment and storytelling, that it actually, is art imitates life, life imitates art. It actually transferred. It went from art into life. And so I think what we're looking at, in these last 4 years is life into art, art into life. It's a reciprocal process. And if you go back into most religious texts, even now, like let's use the Bible for example, like all of the parables and the stories and the metaphors, like there's power in storytelling. And it's because it captures the human condition. It allows us to see who we are, allows us to take all this vastness and the processing of images in our head, and it puts it in front of us, and it allows us to do something with it. It grows us in this very edifying and unique way. And so I think what has happened is, in this day and time, we are still going through that cycle. However, my wife put me on to this. She's a science teacher. That it's with evolution, things come together. Things that are different come together to better survive, to get better. Not like nothing. Like the more that things stay the same, the less chance they have to survive. For example, if you have someone who procreates within the same family, incest, they don't get better. Over time, they actually, there's there's illness there. Yes. So there has to be diversity. The more diversity you have, the stronger the living species is. So I use that to say that's what's happening. Life, the energy of life in itself, is trying to grow us to where we're supposed to be as human beings. And diversity is key to it. If we don't have that, we won't grow.
And the cool part about that is that's exactly what's in the core of Blackkind, to be honest. Blackkind is very diverse in the characters that are within the comic. It is diverse in the roles, but the true essence of it is it allows all these different cultures, all these different races, all these different people who dive into it to actually merge together with each other and learn more about each other, so that, guess what, we're stronger together. Because now I understand why. I understand how you feel, why you felt that way, maybe why you reacted that way. And with that understanding, I develop respect, more respect. What do we always say? I don't have to always agree with you to respect you. I can still respect you and disagree with you.
Yeah.
Like that. Final question. I think this is going to be an interesting question. Based on what you said earlier, where do you want to see the Black Cotton universe and the property go?
Ooh. Oh man, we already done planned out to 2025 already. So go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, you already heard Patrick speak about Tyler Perry and Curtis Jackson, and so you kind of know the conversation that we have had. And I think that at the end of the day, with the world that we're in and how interconnected, comic books and books in general are to, different kinds of media like film and TV. Those are natural conversations that tend to happen. So for me, I want Black Cotton, as a comic book, to stand the way that The Walking Dead has,
right?
And where it's a comic, and it's going to be a comic, and it's going to tell this story for however long. We have it planned the first 6 issues, and we have a way for this arc to close out. And hopefully, if it does well, we do have it planned to be ongoing. But we also had the contingency plan of, well, let's see how the 6 goes. But if it goes the way that we want it to go, like we want to tell an ongoing story that has an end eventually somewhere in some form, again, like The Walking Dead. But we wanted to be able to stand in publishing, in comic book publishing as its own entity within Scout, doing well, thriving, allowing the comic book enthusiasts, readers, even people who are not normally comic book readers, we're hoping that they will come into reading this comic and become, comic book enthusiasts as well. So from the publishing side, and I'll speak on that solely, I wanted to thrive. I wanted to thrive, and we have planned for it too. And we're just hoping that people will give it a chance, will read it, enjoy it, and allow that organic nature to just let it grow.
Right.
Like that.
What I also envision is I envision focus groups almost happening all over the world. That's what I would love. I would love for, people to take our comment, and as they read it, to discuss, okay, how did you feel when you saw this? How did you feel when you read this? And have those discussions with, have a kids group, have an adult group, and then bring them both together and see, okay, here's what the kids saw. Here's what the adults saw. Okay, let's talk about it. Have these done different groups all over, because it's meant, like I said, in the core. Here's something that me and Brian was talking about the other day. We're both teachers to the core. I'm a teacher, through my military career. A lot of people say, that's the leader in you, leadership. But the core of me, I love to grow individuals. That's why I have the magazine. That's why I do so much, speaking and everything. That's the core. Brian, he's the educated teacher. He can tell you step by step, write a curriculum, all that stuff. He's a teacher. That's his passion, but he got the education behind it also, the academics. So when we write and when we actually forge this together, Black Cotton, in the core of it, guess what? You're going to learn something, even though it's through a great story. And what better way to learn something than through a great story? Anytime you go hear somebody speak, you remember the stories that they tell you, and the message comes behind it. Yeah. Same with Black Cotton. You will grow, but in an enjoyable way.
Absolutely.
So when I get to see this on HBO Max, when can we get this on HBO Max so we all can watch this?
Oh man. Hey, speak it into existence, bro.
I know, yeah.
I mean, it would, it would be awesome to see how that would look, and how it would feel, and also how many more people it could reach.
I would say this. I feel like the Black Cotton universe in general is big enough where you can have the comic book and the TV show coincide with each other and not clash.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Just like Walking Dead did.
Yeah.
Correct.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
You can go as far as to tell two different stories as much off with it too. I think there's a lot of meat on the bone for your series.
I appreciate that. And I love that comparison. Meat on the bone, no doubt. Take a bite.
Definitely.
As soon as we start talking, you're gonna be the first we do our interview with.
I'll be honored. And I'll make sure next time when we say tell us a little about yourself, Brian will go first.
Please let me go first. Please. I couldn't even come behind that. I'm just like, I wear a Nintendo hat, guys. I don't know.
All right, let them know to find you guys at. Where you go first, Brian? We don't want Patrick messing this up.
No, yeah, right. Just let me get in here real quick. The Twitterverse, y'all, at Brian L. Hawkins and IG Brian_Lewis_I am, and sometimes part-time on Facebook. You can like search Brian Hawkins, but you know, I'm usually around the Twitterverse more.
Yeah, nobody goes on Facebook.
Yeah, but you can find me mostly on Twitter, but I'm mostly on Instagram. You know, Patrick Foreman. But Black Cotton's on all of them. So hit us up on IG anytime. Just look up Black Cotton Comment or Black Cotton Universe or Black Cotton Mindset, because it is a mindset. You know, Black Cotton is a comment, but it's a mindset. It's just that the mindset is being told through a comment. We're exploring it through a comment. So definitely check us out on all that. And we have a Facebook page too, Black Cotton Comment Facebook. So hit us up on all that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put this out. I'm gonna put it out here too. We would love to receive clips of everybody, you know, just saying Black Cotton to us. You know, just send us a clip saying Black Cotton.
Also, where can they buy the book? That's the most important part.
Right.
Let's make sure you guys get paid before we do anything else.
That's how we're going to keep it going. You're so right. So we're in Previews World for pre-orders now. If you have a comic shop that you are tight with, please reach out to them. It's the diamond code to pre-order is DEC 201650. You also will be able to pre-order closer to the release date through the Scout Comics website. And if you do not have a comic shop that you use, if you go to previewsworld.com and type in Black Cotton, you can even figure out how to find a comic shop near you to get yourself a copy of Black Cotton.
There you go.
Yeah, get two, just like I used to do. Get two. One to read and one to put away.
I'm about to get 3 or 4 and just hand them out to some people I know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm telling you, just like I said at the beginning, this comic is not just for the readers, but it's also for the collectors too, because you have two masterminds here, you know, Brian, and you got me, who is a collector at heart. So we always are going back and forth. You know, I'm always thinking, hey man, we need to do something special, you know, for the collectors. So
yeah, he has that collector's mind. He is working on like, yo, we need to create this big. I'm like, whoa, wait. But so hopefully it does well, because Patrick has some very great, wonderful ideas for the collector's niche that I would love to see.
Holographic cover.
Oh man. Ooh. Yeah. See, that's right up his alley right there.
Like the old Spider-Man one they had.
Yes, I got it.
Of course you got it.
And look, hey Brian, it will be a Black Cotton in it.
There you go.
Of course. Hey, look, before we do leave, I know Patrick mentioned it, but shout out to our team, Marco Perugini, Francisco Zamora, Jerry
Jasper.
Nielsen. Yeah. You know, they are phenomenal. That's an artist, the letterer, a graphic designer, Brent Fowler, who did the title logo, and Scout Comics, of course, from the CEO down to our editor. They have been phenomenal. They're a great company to work with. And, you know, that I'll never forget that email. You know, we want you guys to be part of our Scout family. We want Black Cotton in our Scout family. And, you know, they use the word family. And that meant a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what means a lot is every time, like when we post, the president, the vice president, all the way down, they all say Black Cotton too.
Dope.
So when we say something, I'm telling you, Black Cotton is going to take the world by storm, because when you read the first issue, you learn that just saying Black Cotton is more than just a title. To that family, the Cotton family, it means so much more. So you're going to see Black Cotton everywhere. People are going to be saying it everywhere.
Definitely.
Black Cotton.
Black Cotton. That's the best way to end this episode.
Black Cotton.
Black Cotton. Delvin Cox Experience, we are out. Peace.